Thank you for joining me for Life Experiences with Dr. Amanda. Not sure at what time you'll be watching this segment, but right now it's the day before Thanksgiving for me. So happy Thanksgiving if you're watching it anytime soon, according to the recording of it. This segment, I want to talk about religious reality. This was a phrase that I ran across in my studying of the word last week. And I thought it was a great concept. So I want to talk about it just a little bit. Religious reality. And so when we think about the world's definition of a religious person, it can be somewhat negative because there are things that they somewhat identify what they consider religious people to be, maybe in the way a person dresses or a person goes to church often. Person who, when they're speaking to you, says, I'm blessed, I'm highly favored, those kind of things in everyday conversation. But none of those descriptions mean one's life is committed to the Lord when we think of religion. And so there are several scriptures that speak of religion in the Word of God. And one of those is James 1:27, which says, pure religion and undefiled before God and the Father is this, to visit the fatherless and widows in their affliction, and to keep himself unspotted from the world. And that portion, the only way that we can keep ourselves unspotted from this world is if God is our keeper. So based on the word religious, a religious person is someone who is rooted and grounded in God. That's what the word tells us. When I think of a religious person, sometimes with not the biblical meaning of it, but how the world kind of views it, it actually brings to mind the Pharisees of the Bible. They really fit that definition of what the world considers a religious person to be. They were the ones who knew the law. They taught in the temples, and people had to show them reverence. But Jesus said in his word, Matthew 5:20, that except your righteousness shall exceed the righteousness of the scribes and Pharisees, ye shall in no case enter into the kingdom of heaven. So that tells us that doing certain things that identify us as religion is not the reality of religious living. Doing things will not identify our relationship with our Father. But walking in his spirit, being sensitive to his will, should be our religious reality. A lot of things sometimes are tradition, and tradition is okay, but that is not our basis for how we serve God. That's the way certain people do it, or that's the way it's been done. We look for opportunities to fulfill God's purpose because we're committed to him. I want to share this quick testimony. I was at work today and I actually had the opportunity to witness to someone. And it makes me think back to the Pharisees. When Jesus would, he was going to heal someone on the Sabbath day, they were so stuck in law and tradition that they considered that wrong and didn't think about the healing of a person, how that it would impact that person's life. And so it made me think of the way the world looks at religious people. Someone in the world would say, well, the workplace, that's not the place for you to be witnessing to people. You shouldn't do that. And there's a time and a place. But when that opportunity is provided and the door is open, and the individual actually opened the door by asking me about the Lord, then as a person who's committed to God, he loves souls, so I love souls. So I have to fulfill that purpose. And so religious reality, make sure that our reality of religion is a life that's rooted and grounded in the word of the Lord, and not in just things that we do that appear to be that way, but that we're truly rooted and grounded in his word. So next time, I want to talk about personal conviction. Our personal convictions, why we do things that we do. As always, please share the channel, subscribe if you haven't already. And once again, happy Thanksgiving and have a wonderfully blessed rest of the week. Be blessed.